Hello and welcome to the kitchen table on Tuesday. It's good to gather again. I'm Alison, 17 Vicar in Melksham Team Ministry. I hope you've had a good weekend and I hope you're feeling well and coping with the way the world is. We're sort of getting used to it and it's changing bit by bit, day by day. Today though, I wanted to talk to you about something that happened to members of my family the other day who went off to take part in a march. Well, it wasn't a march, it was a stand. They live in Brecon in Wales, and David and Holly, and actually the two children, went off on a peace walk. It was very well organised and there was social distancing between everyone, and the street was lined 2 metres apart with people who took to the knee. They knelt down for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, the length of time that it took George Floyd for his life to expire under the knee of the policeman who stood upon his neck. Holly rang me up later in the day. They had made some placards. They feel very powerfully about everything that's happening in the world. They always have had a really strong sense of fairness and justice. And they took placards and there was a really good atmosphere in Brecon town. People were being really positive and supporting one another in this stand against racism. Brecon is a small market town in the Brecon Beacons, and it has actually got quite a large population of people from the Gurkha community. So it has a large, diverse community. And they stood together and knelt together. Afterwards, they placed placards up on a fence. They had written "Black Lives Matter," "Silence is violence," different words that spoke of their sense of injustice as to what was happening in the world. And later, when Holly went for a walk in the evening, she found her placard that she had written with a black fist had been thrown in the river. And she was really distressed. The placards had been torn down from the fence. Graffiti had been spread all over the top of them, and hers was only one, but cast into the river. She was really distressed. She was distressed that people couldn't understand or agree maybe with her point of view and why they would want to do that. Of course, we all have different points of view and we all see these different marches and stands against racism in different ways. We look at them through the lens of the eyes that we are raised with. Nelson Mandela once said, "You aren't born hating somebody for the colour of your skin. You're taught to hate somebody for the colour of your skin," which means you can be shown how to love somebody. That's a really powerful notion, that we don't enter this world with difference in our hearts. As Christians, we believe that God created each and every one of us as equal in his eyes and equal in the way he creates us. Some sit here with ginger curly hair, or it was ginger when I was young, pale skin, blue eyes. Others from different parts of the world will look different. Each one of us with our own hue, our own experience. Each one of us belonging to God. I spoke the other day about my anger when George Floyd had been murdered and my anger at the president wielding the Bible. And we're moving on. The days are going by. But what I think is really interesting is that people of all races are at this moment feeling and understanding the injustice of that kind of institutional racism that allows somebody to not just react in sudden violence and maybe as protection and shoot someone, but to slowly squeeze the breath of life out of somebody without being challenged by his colleagues around him, without being stopped. It really is an interesting moment in our history as a world. I was talking this morning at the breakfast table with Derek about the John Lennon song, Imagine. And in it, he talks about no borders, no need for war. Of course, in it, he also talks about no need for heaven and hell, no religion. And for many people who aren't Christians or who don't have a faith themselves, religion can seem like the very thing that divides us more than anything else in the world and can be the cause of lots of tension. But actually, God didn't create a world with borders. God created a world. And in this world, we all live and we all have resources and we all have a call on our hearts to share and to love. That's what God wants from us, regardless of our race, regardless of anything. He came into the world, Jesus came into the world to show us that we are neither Jew nor Gentile, man nor woman, slave or free. All of us are his. So as the time has been going on and Facebook is full of opinions, I was thinking about what it means for Black lives to matter when we've had lots and lots of things that, well, white lives matter. And I had that image of the shepherd, of Jesus leaving his flock that were safe and well and loved, and going out to search for the one sheep that was lost, the one that was in need of his extra care and his help. To say that Black lives matter does not mean that white lives don't matter. It is perfectly we are all perfectly capable of loving all people. But the reality is, for many of us, equality is not part of our understanding and part of our lives. It's an easy word to use and a difficult word to live by. Whether you're a woman with a glass ceiling, whether you're a woman in the church, it's taken us how many centuries to have equality? And even then, some might argue we're getting there. But there are still difficult patches. There are so many different aspects of our world that are unequal. And it's only when we stand up together. And Non, my 2-year-old granddaughter, was out with a placard that said peace on it the other day. And Non is learning about what it means for life to be fair and just. And she's being taught that lesson in a world that does not always have justice or fairness in its heart. But it gives me hope that there are a generation of people, black and white, standing together in this moment, saying, this is not the world we want. So whether they're 2 or whether they're 30, together, black and white, Asian, every mix. Look at the pictures you see on the television. Look beyond rioting and look into the peaceful marches and those who stand. And there, in those eyes, you'll see the love of Jesus. I pray in this moment that change comes. And I pray, just as Nelson Mandela said, we can learn to love. There's something to hope for. to pray for and to start doing ourselves. Bye for now. God bless.